Good morning. I am going to show you a little tip here today to use when you are working in ProStitcher, our computerized program. So I have set up a quilting area as if this is an entire quilt that I want to do an all over pattern on. And I've entered the area of the quilt and then I've set it up to be able to quilt an all over Baptist fan pattern. But I want to show you a different feature that is on ProStitcher, whether you have the ProStitcher Lite or the ProStitcher Premium, that can really help you. We all have different size machines with different throat spaces. So you can quilt a lesser or a larger amount of pattern before you need to advance your quilt. And sometimes it's just really nice to have a guide on your screen that gives you an idea of what exactly you can quilt. So if you go to this area tab on your ProStitcher, yours will look exactly the same. And then to Quilting Space. So you're going to click on there. You'll see on the right hand side here, it gives you a 2-corner option. So what I'm going to do is move my machine. So me moving this crosshair here is actually like you moving your machine across your frame. You're going to move it to the far back of your frame on the left hand side, so to the very extreme that you can quilt. And in this case I've actually gone off the edge of the quilt, and you can just bring that needle forward maybe an inch or so from the back bar, so that as your quilt rolls up and gets bigger, you allow for a little bit of that space that's taken up. So bring your machine just forward an inch or so. Once you've got it in position there, you're going to click on the 2-corner down here, and yours will probably give you that loud bing sound. I don't know why, mine doesn't want to today. And then you're going to take your machine and move it all the way across your frame to the other side and bring it to the front of the frame, so against the bars at the front. It can actually touch the bars at the front, and again it is off the edge of my quilt. Once I've done that, I'm going to click 2-corner again, and then you'll see it brings up a box on your screen. Now it's just a guide. It doesn't affect how the design works. It doesn't affect the sizing, none of that. It just shows you the space that you have available to be able to quilt. So you can see here, I can definitely quilt all of that first partial row, and I can quilt all of the second row, but I'm not able to quilt this part outside of the box on the 3rd row. So I'm going to have to advance my quilt to be able to reach that 3rd row. So if I'm going to do that, what I would do, if I can simulate this, I'm going to put my needle down in a point of the quilt, and I'm going to click the drag button and then advance my quilt. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to keep my design, the next design, within the box. So this design up here is within the black box, and then I'm going to say drop. If I move my machine out of the way and my crosshairs, you can now see, if I refresh, I've quilted row 1 and 2. Those are now rolled up on my back bar. But within my quilting space, I can now see all of row 3 and I can see all of row 4. So I'm safe to quilt both of those rows. I can't quilt row 5 because that is split. It's not going to fit into my quilting area. So this quilting space function is just really useful in terms of allowing you to see on the screen what all you can quilt, and whether a design is going to fit in, because the last thing you want to do is have the machine hit either the back bar or the front bar when it's driving and trying to quilt out that design for you. So I hope this is going to help you. You do have to remember though that you're going to set this up every time you put your ProStitch on. So this morning I want to quilt, I set my quilting space and it's going to be there as long as the ProStitcher is on. But the minute that I turn ProStitch off and reboot it and restart it up, then I'm going to have to put in this area again. It doesn't remember it for me. If at any stage I want to actually get rid of it, I'm going to come to the area tab, the quilting space, and on the right hand side here you'll see it says clear. So if I click on that, then that disappears. So it's a guide. Remember, it's not affecting how the design is set up. It's not affecting how the design is saved or how it moves on. It's purely a fixed box that shows you what or how much of your designs will fit into the space you have available. I really hope it will help you. Have a look on your system and see if you can find it, and give it a go. Happy quilting!